This is NDTV. And you're watching NDTV Hindu.
Very good evening to you. Action and fiery reactions have been the norm of the day as we trace for you the shockwaves of the Spectrum scam that now threaten to engulf even the leader of the nation, Manmohan Singh. But even as the Congress High Command tries to tackle the barrage of allegations closer to home, the DMK might just have to look within to keep the formation intact. Is it time for some introspection? Our senior correspondent Peer Mohammed will help us answer that question. And a disturbing trend of discrimination between local and migrant labourers in the heart of the city, MA Chidambaram Stadium, was discovered by my colleague. We'll bring you more on that in just a while. And of course, today is the day dedicated for awareness against child labour, and hence the yellow ribbon on my jacket, a sign that NDTV Hindu stands united with the cause. A very good evening to you once again, and welcome to Headlines Now with me, Ashmit. Let's take a look at the day's biggest developments. Kapil Sibal and Rahul Gandhi come to the PM's defence, say there's no reason for embarrassment for the Prime Minister.
Let me tell you, as far as the Prime Minister's office is concerned, we are absolutely clear that we have done no wrongdoing.
Meanwhile, Dr. Singh gets a new lawyer, none less than the Attorney General replaces the Solicitor General. Is the DMK rattle post A. Raja's exit from the Union Cabinet? NDTV Hindu takes a look at the dynamics in the DMK party. It's not the Vienna of the East, but you still might find yourself sailing to work. A case in point for poor water management.
The irony of the situation is this is a place that was demarked by the government to promote the electronics industry.
What becomes the fate of a man responsible for rape and murder of a toddler? The flesh might be weak, but the spirit is strong and determined. 10 specially able teachers enter third day of fasting, demand government posts. And it's robot da for school kids in Chennai as education goes one step beyond the boring blackboard. Let's also look at some news stories from around the country. An Mi-17 helicopter of the Indian Air Force crashes in Tawang in Arunachal Pradesh. The crash claims all 12 on board. Karnataka Chief Minister Yediyurappa family surrenders the land that they were allegedly given out of turn and at below market prices. And India wins a gold, silver and bronze in rowing at the Guangzhou Asian Games. Now, speaking of action and reactions, those coming in from Delhi first, even as accusations and allegations of inaction have been fired at the Prime Minister, the government is beginning to muster up a strong response. In what was a fiery defence of the captain of the ship, the crew members, such as the new Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal, challenged the scathing attacks by Janata Dal President Subramaniam Swamy. He maintained that the Prime Minister was not obliged to respond. He also launched a fiery attack on the BJP-led opposition for stalling parliamentary activities.
Let me tell you, as far as the Prime Minister's office is concerned, we are absolutely clear that we have done no wrongdoing. In fact, I do believe that the Prime Minister, a man of such integrity, that I don't think that anybody in this country believes that he was trying to circumvent the law. The fact of the matter is that if an individual who believes himself to be an investigating agency does not take recourse to the law and expects on the basis of newspaper reports for Prime Ministers to respond and grant sanction, I think it will be a very sad day for this country. Subramaniam Swamy realized that if we went with these documents to a court of law, the court of law would rubbish it and put it in the dustbin. So what he could not and would not have got in the court of law, he was trying to gain political mileage by writing letters one after the other, and with every letter, the documentation increased. You must understand, with every letter that he wrote, the documentation increased. So at what, with respect to which letter was the Prime Minister supposed to respond? And this government has proved it. You tell me in the history of this country, how many BJP governments ever allowed their ministers to resign? In Tehelka, did any minister resign? Was there any JPC in Tehelka? When cash was distributed in front of cameras, the ministers were made to come back. In the petrol pump scam, did many ministers resign? Was any JPC set up? In the land scam, any JPC was set up? In what is happening in Karnataka, has any JPC been set up? Has Mr. Subramanian Swamy gone there and asked for sanction? So you see, this is all very well. It is only Congress party who is sensitive and responds to these things.
A fiery reaction indeed, coming on the back of some allegations being fired now under fire from the Supreme Court and a united opposition over the Prime Minister's alleged inaction on a plea-seeking prosecution of A. Raja. The government has now decided to get the top legal officer of the country to present the Prime Minister's case in the apex court. Attorney General of India, G. Vahanvati, will represent the Prime Minister in Supreme Court on Tuesday. The Attorney General replaces Solicitor General Gopal Subramaniam, who appeared for the Prime Minister till yesterday. Sources have told NDTV that the Prime Minister wanted the Attorney General for effective representation. Now, even the Union Law Minister Veerappa Moily held little back in defending Manmohan Singh.
It is not a question of adequacy or inadequacy. It's an arrangement because the devotee, we don't want devotee person, the law officer appearing for devotee should appear for Prime Minister. So Prime Minister has to be properly represented. That is what is done. You know, he is also an important and a very brilliant lawyer, Mr. Gopal Subramaniam. It is nothing, you know, to read between that.
Now, meanwhile, the new Telecom Minister Kapil Sibal is eager to make a good first impression and at least looks to be moving fast. A day after TRAI asked the government to cancel 69 2G licenses, the new Telecom Minister has reportedly begun a major review. Sources say Sibal has asked telecom officers to make a note of the TRAI recommendations and to find out more about the contracts. Coming back, shifting focus from Delhi to Chennai. Now, even as the DMK begins to pick up the fallen pieces post Raja's ouster, there is a noticeable thrust by party heavyweights to assure the stakeholders of a continued DMK-Congress alliance. But has the equation changed between the two alliance partners? And what about the fine lines of differences between the party? The Stalin versus Aragiri battle for succession is shaping out in front of the public eye. But what about other contenders within the party? Will the likes of Dayanidhi Maran eye a bigger piece of the pie from assembly polls of 2011? And what about promising figures such as Kanimuri, who at a point was being touted as Raja's successor? Now, these are some critical questions that our senior correspondent Peer Mohammed will help us analyze. Now, Peer, if you can hear us, let's first give a thought to the DMK-Congress alliance. This ruckus that we have seen created post Raja's ouster, does this put Congress in a more commanding position in the driver's seat to bargain for seats before the polls?
The DMK is on a defensive mode. Just now, the Chief Minister and DMK Chief Karunanidhi has appealed to the opposition not to disrupt the parliament over the 2G spectrum issue, which is a clear indication that the DMK is on back foot and they are on the defensive, and they just want the alliance with the Congress to continue, because the ADMK has already offered support to the Congress and the Congress should not pick up that offer. That is what the DMK Chief and Chief Minister Karunanidhi is trying to ensure at this point of time. And he has forgotten the demand for a telecom portfolio, at least for now. And he is more keen on maintaining the alliance at least until the assembly elections are over. Also, the fact that the Congress will put more pressure to get more seats and also will insist on a coalition government in after the assembly elections. That is what the sources are saying. Yeah.
Right, P. So that has been the larger picture about the Congress-DMK alliance. But what about the finer nuances of intra-party politics within the DMK? What about contenders such as Dayanidhi Maran at this point? Of course, we have the bigger battle between the Stalin and Aragiri workout. How does that play out for the DMK here?
Yes, the rivalry between brothers is at least temporarily that is patched up by the efforts of DMK Chief Karunanidhi, and at least until the elections they will put up a show of unity within the family so that the opposition will not take undue advantage of the rivalry between the brothers. And other players like Marans and Kanimali, definitely it's a setback for the faction which is supporting Kanimali and others. changes. And also maybe the Morans have got a breather because they have been unceremoniously pushed out of this ministry, and now that Raja is made to exit the ministry, and Raja was completely opposed to the Morans, and particularly the Kanimali Moran rivalry was well known, and it's definitely a setback for the Kanimali faction in the DMK. Yeah.
Right, so a lot of need for introspection perhaps. That was our senior correspondent P. Mohammed, breaking down the developments and of course giving us some more perspective. Moving ahead, eat, work, pray and get exploited. That's the authorities' mantra for migrant labourers in the state. Find out more about that on the other side.